jobber, the jack of all trades versus the specialist?
This is a fascinating one. This really got me thinking, because there's that natural jack of all trades, master of none scenario that we all grew up with.
Yeah.
And then I suddenly thought, well, WeWillFixIt could be thrown into that kind of sphere, and how do I feel about that?
Yeah.
And the answer was not very good. So I then thought about it a little bit more and thought, this is really odd, because actually that's exactly what we're not. And the reason is simple, which is we send a specialist to every job.
Yeah.
We just have lots of specialists in different areas.
Exactly.
And the biggest part of the job that we try and teach our bookings team is to understand the skills of all of our guys, who are all matrixed on every job and with their development to cover more things. But the idea is that we send a specialist to every job so that we are successful at it. And if we are not, if we are at the stage where we are testing our skills too far, then we will walk away from a job.
Yeah.
And so,
because you guys are not. So the thing is, I get these cards, and this is what the preface to this is. I get this card that says we do painting, we do air conditioning, we do motors, we do this. It's here's the number, and I'm suspecting there's 4 guys with a van.
Yes.
And they're going to come and they're good at the basic. Anything outside of that, I'm figuring they learn as they go. And maybe they've done it once and, hey, it didn't quite work and we're going to alter it again. And that's the jack of all trades. They kind of learn on the go, and maybe they've got an aptitude. You guys are the opposite.
We are, but then if you imagine from the exterior perception, they're a general maintenance company.
General.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so that really got me thinking today that maybe we've got a little bit of additional communication we need to do to explain how, as a company that covers lots of different bases and services, we actually are specialists in all of them and not a jack of all trades. But then the article that you sent through was fascinating, because it also talks about jack of all trades on a personal perspective.
Yes.
Which is, what it actually means is, as an individual, that you are adaptable, resourceful and capable.
And you can learn.
Yeah, and you can learn. And it's learning how to learn, which is really classic. And I suddenly thought, you know what, that kind of really sings to me. But one of the things that they stated, which I totally agree in, is you have to start off with a core specialist knowledge in a particular area to be able to build from.
Yeah.
And that's really that key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is, if you don't have a core of knowledge in one area, you don't have a heartland to stretch from. You are stretching in any direction. Yeah. And I really love that as a concept, and that's very much where we want to be.
Well, look, and I think, as I understand, the tradesmen who work in your company, they all come with that trade.
Yes.
And so they're already familiar with the workings of, working with their hands, thinking through these problems. Yep. They don't tend to stretch very far past that, but you do get guys who train to, who decide, hey, I want to upgrade my training and I want to go in a different direction.
The longer they're with us, the wider that we will push that stretch. But the sign-off that we go through and the training that they receive from us is beyond most things that most companies would have, to say the least. But there is never going to be a scenario where one of our DIY guys is going to go over and become an AC tech, because they don't have 3 years of training and technical training to be able to do that.
Do you ever get guys, though, who want to apprentice to become AC techs and say, hey, I'm within the company? And
I simply wouldn't let it happen.
It doesn't happen.
No,
okay.
They need to have that training within an educational environment.
Okay, so they need to apprentice as an AC tech.
Exactly. But it's not, it has to be a classroom environment. You cannot just do it on the tools, because you end up with such bad habits. And secondly, some of the shortcuts that are just too risky and sketchy for us to ever even consider. And probably the third one is, a lot of these guys will learn by trial and error, in which case that's your property and your trial and error, and the disasters will be left on your roof with you not knowing any better.
You know what? I've seen this over and over again. That's why I asked the question. As I've seen people who come, they work for an AC company, they've got the shirt, and if you've been with the company long enough, you've seen them come as the gopher guy, till finally they're coming as the lead guy, and you're kind of going, but you didn't have the training before. You've learned now on the job. You've learned the bad habits on the job. Are you actually certified to do the job? And do you want a certified mechanic working on your car, or do you want a guy who's working on it who's got no actual training on that? They might be good at it. They might have learned along the road, but Do they really know what they're doing?
I know. Well, we faced this scenario with one of our drivers who was offered a 40% increase to go to another company as an AC tech. We actually found this out some way down the line, and he decided he would do it. Okay, he went back to the Philippines, did a 1 month course.
1 month.
1 month, not 3 years, 1 month, during his holiday, and then went to this other company. He survived. It was a month and a half, I think, he survived there and spent the whole time on the phone to our AC techs. In the end, we said to them, anyone answering the phone to so-and-so is going to have a problem with us because you're wasting company time. Yeah. We are not here to support him anymore. We suggested, as soon as we found out that that was his plan, we suggested to him what an insane idea that was. But you can understand, he's just looking to support his family. I get it, but you've got to start off with the core knowledge, which he didn't have.
So what happened to the guy in the end?
He got fired and he's now a driver again somewhere.
Yikes. Thinking.
Thank goodness he didn't. You know, he was dealing with three-phase electrics. Thank goodness. And we care for the guy. He was with us for quite a while beforehand. But thank goodness he didn't kill himself. And it is a perfectly feasible scenario that would happen. Utterly insane thing to do.
I was looking at water tank cleaning. And interesting. Did you know that you've had 576 Google reviews?
I did after you mentioned it, and I checked.
and the reason I looked at that is as I was looking at water tank cleaning and certified by the municipality in Dubai, it has a list of all of the companies. Of course, you guys are at the top of that list.
Yes.
And beside the list, because I was doing it in Google, it has the number of reviews. And the first thing I did as a customer is I'm thinking, okay, hold on a second. I'm looking to see, where are we on the star system? How many reviews are there? And the guy who has 12 reviews, I went, well, I'm not even going to call them because how do I know what they're doing? And you guys were miles ahead in the reviews.
It's great, but if you imagine, we're doing 120 to 160 jobs a day, and so with WeWillFixIt, the one that really I'm loving is essential maintenance. Our brand for annual maintenance contracts, which it's only at 40 reviews, but they're 5.0. Every single one of them is 5.0, which is just what you want. It's a maintenance business. Things go wrong, and we understand that normally. And so you're going to get some people who, instead of reaching out and trying to resolve something, which we always want to do, when something breaks, they say, oh, well, in which case they were rubbish, 1 star. And just sit there with your head in your hands going, why? It's maintenance. There's going to be things that are not going to be, we would have no idea about. And it happens now and again. So we're sitting at 4.6 currently for WeWillFixIt, which when you look at the market, those people that haven't just got reviews from their friends is great. We always want to strive for better. And the difficulty is when you then, and we have the right to reply, we have no interest in rubbishing a review online like many people might do. But when either we cannot find the customer details because they've signed in another name or their wife booked it or whatever else. And secondly, when we ask them to then get in touch with us so we can resolve their problem, when they don't do that, that's the real frustration. So it's the wonders of the modern age and social media and how you deal with it. And, and at this time of year, it's at its most prevalent. People are particularly irritated when it just gets warm and everything's gone bang. And we've got plenty to deal with at the moment to make sure that we keep our customers feeling just as important and special as they are. Well,